how hard I try. I tell Leah, please look at the camera and smile when I come in. And this is what you get. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. This is why you show up every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our top European UK news. What are you saying to yourself?
At Sunday, on Sunday.
Did I say at Sunday? You show up here on Sunday at Resistance Chicks at 1 o'clock. We did shave 9 minutes off of our late time, which is normally 20 after. So we're getting closer, and I think we're going to break ground. If you can call it that, because it's just a matter of rearranging and organizing. We're going to break ground on the new studio in the basement.
At least it's not breaking wind.
That was really juvenile.
I thought it, and I said that's so
You said to yourself,
immature.
don't say that. If you're new to our show, welcome to Resistance Chicks, where we're 12. Oh my gosh. Okay, so today is
I am 16, going on 17.
You are something in their 30s going on 5. Today is the 20th of January, 2019. We had a massive, okay, it really wasn't that big, but the storm that we had yesterday.
We had a decent
We had a
snowstorm
decent,
overnight.
what's so terrifying is the cold temperatures that we're going to get tonight. -2. And in the UK, that's Fahrenheit for you. I don't even know what that is for you guys.
There's a really great trick that you can use for heating your chicken water is that you put Christmas lights under a Christmas tin and then put like a bowl on top. The only problem is we finally found the Christmas lights. There's not enough. The tin isn't hot. So I think he needs 2 strands under there.
Huh.
We had some Christmas lights last year, but they died. So moving on. Let's go to Europe. You want to go to Europe? This isn't Rick Steves Europe. This is Resistance Chicks Europe.
This isn't your granddaddy's Europe.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about how May, the whole government voted on whether they wanted to keep their government. She's all excited. She's like, yeah, people have confidence in government. I'm like, yeah, by 24 votes. So maybe don't run with that one.
Yeah.
Le Pen,
her own party voted her out by one of the biggest margin ever.
But they didn't actually get a majority, so.
I'm just saying, but her party did. It has never happened before that somebody got, that her own party had that little confidence in her. So many votes against her.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Margaret Thatcher resigned after a vote
with less than that.
Yeah. Le Pen, though, is appealing to the Yellow Vest movement.
Interesting.
And Tucker Carlson did a good segment on the Yellow Vests. People don't really, everybody's kind of grasping. They're mine, or they're not mine, or whatever. Macron hates them, so obviously they're a migrant. So Macron wants to, Le Pen wants to use their enthusiasm and
of course, why not?
She, at her rally, her national rally, everybody chanted Macron resignation. She denounced Macron and the EU as agents of globalization and condemned for ordinary people. And here's the thing. They don't deny that they're agents of globalization. That's what they're saying. So you have to realize that there are literally 2 ideologies here at play, but it's a lot easier because it used to be that everybody hid behind the mask, but no, they're openly, you don't want to we don't have sovereign nations anymore. The EU is where it's at. We want whole global government.
Right.
She also said the European Parliament elections in May ought to be a referendum this May. On whether Macron actually stays in office. If Macron does not have the wisdom to go back to the people by dissolving parliament, then let the political arbitrage come from the European elections. So basically saying if Macron is not going to allow people, is not going to resign and allow the people to elect somebody else. She's like, we can use this month of May. Theresa May's name is kind of unfortunate to stick it to the man. The European Union as it stands is a menace to our identity and our security, she says, while praising the Yellow Vest as a healthy popular revolt. The battle is now between nationalists and globalists, and she's very true. She's very right about that. So there's a article here from Rodgers that calls Marine Le Pen far right. What's so funny about it's a slur. It's a slur. It's supposed to make any argument that anybody says
null and void. Yeah.
Why can't they just say a conservative leader in France? No, they have to lead with, don't listen to what she says, but here's what she says.
It's interesting that if you do label somebody with a label, whether it's Nazi or far right or whatever, they know just by doing that, people shut off. It takes the credence out of what they're about to say.
Exactly.
So I think it's a defamation of character. I think it's slander. And I think you should be able to sue if you're a public person for people doing that when you're not
absolutely
far right.
In the context of the healthy popular revolt of the Yellow Vest, this election offers a chance to end this crisis born of contempt of an incompetent president whose behavior is disturbing, she said at the rally. This grassroots movement is still going on again this weekend. Not as big, not as violent, but it's still they're still in Macron's face. Is what I'm trying to say. So Le Pen hopes the EU vote will advance a redrawing of France's political map. The process began with the first round of the 2017 presidential election. Then Macron's upstart centrist movement and her own National Front, since renamed, eliminated the traditional big parties. So France is already undergoing. Yeah. And nobody really wanted to vote for Macron, so they're kind of looking for where to land.
I'm still not 100%. Why is this frog in my throat? We're talking about the frogs. I'm not 100% convinced that Macron actually legitimately won that election. I think there was probably voter fraud involved.
Right.
There.
So Le Pen's political group has actually gained in the polls, and December poll gave it 24% support against 18% for Macron. Held the elections today. What might happen? The Conservatives had 11%, and then there's other parties that had 9%. Le Pen herself is not running in the European election as she wants to remain in the French Parliament. And on Sunday, presented 23-year-old Jordan Bartella as her party's leading candidate, which I find incredibly interesting. As such a young person. So, and this person who she put forward says, in Italy and Austria, our allies are governing. A better tomorrow is within our grasp.
Wow, that's awesome.
So there's French. There's France. There's France.
The French update.
There's the French update. That's what I meant to say.
That's, of course. Oh.
Okay, buzzing. We have a little buzz.
I'm going to get it.
I am going to go ahead and play. Oh, there's Bill's message. I am going to go ahead and play this, even though I don't. At this point, it's really hard to listen to Theresa May. But this is her concession speech, how confident she is. This is the no confidence vote. 306 against the government, 325 for the government. The government wins by 19 votes. The way she kind of comes at this is, we won. No, honey child. That's not even close, sister. Okay, you don't have confidence. Your government, basically, these people voted so that Jeremy Corbyn would not take control of the country.
And that's a fact.
You know, and I probably would have voted for you too, you know, if I had to vote. You know, the idea of Jeremy Corbyn taking over would not sit well. And this is why, I want to get to this. I don't trust a communist as far as I could throw them, because they're really good at manipulating and getting to the heart of a matter. And while I will put forth Jeremy Corbyn's good arguments for Brexit,
right, his motivation behind it is
and somebody else said this, and it confirmed in me what I already had deducted. Obviously, this is my own opinion. I have not met with Jeremy Corbyn. I don't know, but I think I know. The idea is they want out of the European Union for different reasons. Because the European Union is holding the commies back in Britain from going full commie.
Right.
So if Jeremy Corbyn gets in government, then he's constrained. He's just too constrained by the European Union. Yeah. He wants control. He has ideas. He wants to put them forth. Okay. Right. And so those in Jeremy Corbyn's upper echelons don't understand that in order to get your communist agenda through, you can't be part of the EU. Okay? Because while the EU is a socialist enterprise, there are other leaders. And whether you know it or not, like the whole thing about communism is there's like always a fight. Who's the better leader? Who's the stronger leader? It's never like, it's never a movement of the people.
Right.
So Jeremy Corbyn has ideas for Britain, and he's being held back by being tied to the European Union. But he can't say that.
Yeah.
So he's got to be smart about it. So I'm going to say it for him.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why he wants out. But if he can get some labor votes who he may not have sat down and talked to about and they don't know, but maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know. I don't think they're that smart, honestly. I don't think that everybody who is in labor positions is that upstairs. Okay. That conniving is what I'm saying. So anyways, I'm gonna play this. She won, and here's what she said.
This House has expressed its confidence in the government tonight.
That's not exactly what happened.
I do not take this responsibility lightly, and my government will continue its work to increase our prosperity, guarantee our security, and to strengthen our union. And yes, we will also continue to work to deliver on the solemn promise we made to the people of this country to deliver on the result of the referendum and leave the European Union. I believe this duty is shared by every member of this House, and we have a responsibility to identify a way forward that can secure the backing of the House. To that end, I've proposed a series of meetings between senior parliamentarians and representatives of the government over the coming days, and I would like to invite the leaders of parliamentary parties to meet with me individually, and I would like to start these meetings
Look at
tonight.
Corbyn's face.
Mr. Speaker, the government approaches these meetings in a constructive spirit, and I urge others to do the same.
Gosh.
But we must find solutions that are negotiable and command sufficient support in this House. And as I've said, we will return to the House on Monday to table an amendable motion and to make a statement about the way forward. The House has put its confidence in this government. I stand ready to work with any member of this House to deliver on Brexit and ensure that this House retains the confidence of the British people.
Do you notice that her necklace there is a chain? A big old giant chain around her neck.
Wow.
You know, I'm wondering if that symbolizes the fact that she is bound to
this
these.
is so conspiracy theorist. This is
I'm feeling it.
She wore another pin like one time though, of like some commie woman.
I'm enslaved to the people that control me.
Why would you wear a chain?
It's a big giant chain. It's a gold chain, but it's a chain. I mean, it's not even like, okay, I get it. This technically has a chain.
No.
But that's a chain.
That's
a
like, chain. That's like what you pull a Jeep out. You put it hooked to the back of your Jeep to pull things out with.
Yeah.
That's an intense chain. Yeah,
I
think there's definitely something there. Obviously there's not confidence there. It's more like, hey, it's been cold for a couple weeks. Should we venture across the lake? I'm not real confident. Right, but there's a bear chasing me, so I'm gonna take my chances, right? So those are the people who voted for Theresa May. Probably of those 19, those extra 19 were like, the idea of going to a referendum with
the potential that Corbyn takes over.
The Labour Party is not the bad guy right now.
Yep.
So like, she lost votes actually with the last. Of course, snap election in the House, which literally with over like 600 representatives for like your small country. It's like every fifth person is in the parliament or something. It's like a lot. I think it's just like that's a lot of people for it's and it's representative of the people.
I mean, this literally looks like a tie to me. I mean,
oh yeah, of course it's a tie.
Ridiculous.
Of course it's a tie. It's always a tie. So we're going to talk about Theresa May's...
those are the numbers right there in her own party that she lost by.
Well, not exactly. These
that was for the deal.
This is for the deal. This is May's deal.
Right.
I don't, if you find those numbers, I don't have the numbers for her party.
432 against the deal, only 202 for.
Right. If you have the numbers for how many voted against her party.
Somewhere. I mean, I could probably
but May's deal was voted down by a greater margin than, from what I understand, any...
Maybe Barry has those
anything.
numbers. Can you get those for me?
proposed in the European Parliament by the government.
Yeah.
The government lost worse here than in any other time. Her government. So I want to hear.
It's embarrassing.
The member for Beaconsfield is not legally binding, but the government respects the will of the House. We will therefore make a statement.
Let me see.
And if, as happened before Christmas, the official opposition declined to do so, we will, on this occasion, consider making time tomorrow to debate any motion in the form required from the other opposition parties, should they put one forward. Second, if the House confirms its confidence in this government, I will then hold meetings with my colleagues, our confidence and supply partner, the DUP, and senior parliamentarians from across the House to identify what would be required to secure the backing of the House. The government will approach these meetings in a constructive spirit, but given...
She has nerves of steel.
I don't know how she does it.
We must focus on...
You have to give her due. They have drained her of all blood and put steel in her veins. Because I would be shooken up if like the entire country was saying all this cray stuff about me, which is actually real. But she's got nerves of steel, which makes me think she's probably a robot.
Oh my gosh.
You heard it here first.
And have sufficient support in this House. Third, if these meetings yield such ideas, the government will then explore them with the European Union. Mr. Speaker, I want to end by offering two reassurances. The first is to those who fear that the government's strategy is to run down the clock to the 29th of March. That is not our strategy.
But
I always believe that the best way
Stuart the
forward
Brit
is
said
to
that
lead in an
she has unwittingly given them the Brexit that she wanted, that they voted for. So she has, whether that was your strategy or not, May, that's what you're doing. Carry on.
way with a good deal, and have devoted much of the last 2 years negotiating such a deal. As you confirmed, Mr. Speaker, the amendment to the business motion tabled last week by my right honourable and learned friend, the member for Beaconsfield, is not legally binding, but the government respects the will of the House. We will therefore make a statement about the way forward and table an amendable motion by Monday. The second reassurance is to the British people who voted to leave the European Union in the referendum 2.5 years ago. I became Prime Minister immediately after that referendum. I believe it's my duty to deliver on their instruction, and I intend to do so. Every day that passes without this issue being resolved means more uncertainty, more bitterness, and more rancour. The government has heard what the House has said tonight, but I ask members on all sides of the House to listen to the British people who want this issue settled, and to work with the government to do just that.
She's really...
She delivers strong words.
Into it at the end, but I ain't feeling it,
I'm
Jack.
not feeling it either.
Like, sometimes, like, saying, pancakes are the best breakfast ever.
A little less talk and a little more action, man.
And everybody
we want
cheers.
To see. We want to see.
It's like, yeah. So, trust in Parliament will collapse to an all-time low if Brexit is cancelled. Theresa May claimed she will deliver Brexit in the House of Commons, as doing otherwise would result in the British people's faith in the country's institutions to fall to an all-time low. I believe that faith in your government is getting to that point as well. During the Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday afternoon, Conservative MP Helen Grant asked Mrs May, "Does the Prime Minister agree with me that if we fail to deliver on Brexit, the public perception of politicians in this country will be at an all-time low?" She said, "I absolutely agree with my honourable friend, and this is so important. I believe that if we fail to deliver on what the British people instructed us to do in the vote of the referendum, that the views of the British people, of this House, of this Parliament, and of politicians will be at an all-time low, because they will have lost faith in politicians across the whole of this Parliament. We need to deliver Brexit for the British people."
She keeps saying all of the right
British
She
people.
keeps saying all the right words, but she doesn't actually do anything about it.
I know. Tory Arch Remainer Ken Clark asked the Prime Minister whether she would consider extending Article 50. Taking to the dispatch box again, Mrs May said, "He talks about the possible extension of Article 50. Of course, Article 50 cannot be extended by the UK unilaterally. It has to be extended in agreement with the EU. The government's policy is that we are leaving the EU on the 29th of March this year, 2019. But the EU would only extend Article 50 if actually it was clear that there was a plan moving towards an agreed deal. So she's talking for the EU, like, hey, temporary revocation of Article 50 has been ruled out by the EU judges in early December. The revocation must be unequivocal and unconditional. That is to say that the purpose of that revocation is to confirm the EU membership of the member states. The EU is not stupid. If Britain wants to revoke, then the European Council will want a clear commitment in good faith that it is going to remain in the EU. Put it simply, while the EU court has ruled that Britain can revoke Article 50, it cannot revoke and then revoke it in order to buy more time for negotiation. Revocation must be confirming Britain's status as an EU member state for the foreseeable future. Future. So this is kind of an ongoing saga. I'm trying to get to I have another little video here I want to play, I think, of so this is kind of what's happening kind of as a result of what's happening with Brexit and things like that. These are some British fishermen who say that they had 3 tons of skate worth 5,000 pounds and a 50 kilogram quota that the EU had granted us, so we had to throw everything back overboard. You wouldn't throw $20 notes over the side, would you? But we're having to do that.
So we went, and within our first haul, it was about half an hour, and we probably had 3 ton of skate on the back of the boat.
How much is that worth?
£5,000 at least, I'd have thought, something like that. And we had 50 kilo quota that the EU had granted us, so we had to throw everything back over, which was if you had £1,000, you wouldn't throw £20 notes over the side, would you? But we were having to do that when French boats were keeping a lot of it.
Wow.
You guys sell quite a lot of your fish in France. Are you worried that if we leave the EU, then that's going to become more expensive to do because of tariffs?
It will be more expensive, but I'm
Earthquake.
quite prepared to pay it. I mean, if they want fish, they're still going to buy it. They're still going to buy it.
Another factor you got is the French boats won't be here catching a lot of it as well, so they're going to need fish. They're going to need our fish from English boats.
What do you guys want to see happen now? If you could be in charge of the talks, what would you want to happen?
You can't negotiate when the people who are negotiating don't believe in what they're negotiating for.
Are you talking about the Prime Minister?
Yeah.
I just want to see us we go into WTO, we get our fishing waters back up to our economic exclusion zone, that's 200 miles. We take control of our borders, we take control of our money, we take control.
That's Jasper,
of our
sorry
fishing
guys.
areas.
Not an earthquake.
We allow
No, it's an
some
earthquake.
fishing boats from the EU in on very strict regulations. But
So here's the thing about these fishing rights. With the EU controlling and trying to make British waters communal waters, from what I understand, like, hey, we're going to share because we're all part of the EU now. This is communism. So we're just going to let, some of these French boats in.
Right.
They're going to meander around. Britain is an island. So, like, their big natural resource is, like, the
Fish.
water
Fish.
surrounding the land.
I don't even like fish, okay? I mean, it takes a lot. I mean, there are some fish that I like, but we live in Ohio, so we don't ever get good fish, okay?
Right.
We just don't. I'm not a big fan. I will eat it, but I'm not a fan. But I support the fact that this is what they have, and it's awesome.
But see, here's the thing. Why do I really support this? Because I feel like this is, like, a really good, honest living that goes back to
and it's
traditions.
hard.
It's hard. It goes all the way back to
Hardworking
the
men and
beginning
women.
of all jobs. One of the first ever businesses was fishing. And it's not, these guys,
Right.
they're not big commercial outlets. Now, I wouldn't
Exactly.
honestly give a hootie patootie if it was big, giant, companies.
But these are real people. These are you. These are me. I mean,
But the idea of a protectionist government is to protect the trades of the people.
Yeah.
The individual people, the small business people, the family businesses.
But under socialism and communism, You don't, it has nothing to do with the actual person.
Right.
You are a number. You are part of the
Right.
bigger picture. You are part of the bigger ship, as
Right.
it were.
So here's the thing. These
you don't
guys
matter.
These guys are their own boss, and they're working together, and they have a stake in their fish. Ha ba-boom ching. They got a stake in their fish. What capitalists and conservatives on the right, they don't get is that giant corporations are way closer to communism, and they should be against giant corporations. Because that is like communist, where you literally have one guy putting a nut or a bolt on it. It's not a team effort where if the team does well, everybody does well. And like with fishing, it's like if the team does well, everybody does well. And so there's a motivation there to put your heart and soul into something. And we live in a society that is heartless and soulless, because what they do every day doesn't seem to matter. And what they do every day, it's like they're bringing home a paycheck rather than putting their efforts into something. And so we always are about, if it's a small business guy, that's where my heart goes. I say that is the right thing to do. So anything you can do to support that and to support the rightful area in which it's done. So Britain has these waters. It's their waters. I mean, okay, all right. So the British people should be able, any British person should be able to be a fisherman.
Right.
You know, it's a
earthquake.
Tons of earthquakes happening today. We should shake with it.
Jasper sometimes she's old and she just walks in circles.
And
her favorite spot to walk is right. Remember though, we're breaking ground on the new studio tonight.
Oh
as
no!
soon as
What
we
are we
finish
gonna? Oh
the
my
show,
gosh! Though
we're gonna do it.
I didn't even think about that.
What do you mean? What we're gonna do?
The dogs.
If we're not, here's the deal. They sleep. If we leave for 2 hours, they will sleep the whole time that we're gone. It's only because we're up and talking to you people. They are jealous of our attention, and that's why this
Sydney
keeps
would
happening.
bark, so she has to be down there. She'll have to.
She
be
could be down there, and
for a
she'll
little
be fine. It's gonna be great.
bit. Okay. Cabinet Minister warns blocking Brexit will unleash political tsunami. Speaking of water, get your glasses out. Britain's Secretary of State for International Trade has warned that if politicians refuse to respect the people's vote for Brexit, it could unleash a political tsunami with unknowable consequences for the stability of the realm. The realm. Can you still say that?
They do say the realm. It's so funny. You live in a fairy tale, people.
The realm.
The realm. That's what they say in princess
bringing
stories.
out King Arthur here.
Oh
Cabinet Brexiteer Liam Fox wrote in the Sunday Telegraph that failure to deliver Brexit would produce a yawning gap between Parliament and the people, a schism.
I don't think I've ever heard that yawning gap.
A schism in our political system with unknowable consequences. Dr. Fox's intervention was inspired by the latest edition of the BBC Question Time program. You know what? Interjection here. I really wish we had what you guys had. Like we have these like tiny little town halls, but no, you guys, you have these little. And I know they're all skewed.
Well, they get broadcast.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool
and it's
about
cool.
it.
Like, you go in all these, and it's just cool. I
the
like
question time is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I like it. Outnumbered 4-1 on the panel, 4 against Brexit, 1-4. As is common for Brexiteers appearing on broadcast media, received cheers and applause from the studio audience for saying that Theresa May should walk away from negotiations with the transient EU and pursue a clean, no-deal Brexit. Can they not, like, ever get, like, has it ever been 4-1 pro-Brexit?
What do you mean?
On their
question time. I know,
A deal that can achieve a parliamentary majority, isn't there?
Well, the answer, look, I can save everybody a lot of time here.
It's been 2 years, so
the short answer is no, there isn't, and that is why it seems to me the only option for Theresa May now, and I'm going to admit that it is a suboptimal position, is to walk away. That is all she can do.
So to leave with no deal?
Yes, absolutely, because there isn't an alternative.
Yay!
Well,
but the crowd's excited.
They say that's what they want, so... Fox also slammed Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn for insisting he will not hold discussions with the Prime Minister on how to break the parliamentary impasse on Brexit unless she rules out no deal and rules in a permanent customs union with the EU, noting that the former demand would give the bloc no incentive to offer anything but a terrible deal, and the latter demand would prevent Britain from taking back control of its trade policy. It is simply not possible to pursue an independent trade policy from inside the customs union, as we could not determine our own tariffs, and our own financial services industry would be exposed to a rapidly evolving body of EU regulation over which we would have no influence, the Trade Secretary explained. Indeed, commentators have warned that membership of either the European Union Customs Union or a permanent customs union with the EU would leave the United Kingdom at the mercy of the EU bloc, which would be both a drag, which would be able to both drag it into trade wars with third countries and force it to allow third countries privileged access to the British market on disadvantaged terms according to their own commercial interests. Brussels would also be able to both raise and reduce tariffs on non-EU goods in Britain. It would totally leave you as like a total slave. It's a really bad idea. Like other government departments across Whitehall, the Department for International Trade is increasing its no-deal planning, but hoping a deal can be reached, Fox says. Despite what Corbyn seems to believe, it is not possible to take no deal off the table, for if an agreement is not reached, as the law stands, it would mean that the European treaties no longer apply to the UK after the 29th of March. As a businessman told me in Bristol on Friday, I've spent my entire life in business negotiating. It is the most stupid thing possible to do to give away your strongest card.
I'm so excited. Like, we're going to have to do some sort of countdown, like literal countdown, the week leading up to the 29th.
Oh, no worries, mate. Australia signs agreement to secure trade with post-Brexit Britain. Go ahead.
A new bilateral wine agreement and mutual recognition agreement was signed in London on Saturday, designed to help ease the continued flow of post-Brexit trade between Australia and the UK.
Hey, mate.
Australia's Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment, Simon Birmingham, told the Sydney Morning Herald these agreements would ensure agreements already in place between Australia and the European Union. It all just kind of runs together. The wine and other exports continued to apply for Britain in a post-Brexit world. This will mean Australian exporters can continue to benefit from the existing arrangements for mutual recognition as they do currently. Even if the UK leaves the EU without an agreement, Mr. Birmingham stated. These agreements provide assurances. Am I reading this for real, or are you just reading it to get a laugh? These agreements provide assurances to Australian exporters. Well, hang on, I just lost it now. These agreements provide assurances to Australian exporters. I can't get that word. That's difficult. Earthquake. It's an earthquake. I think it kind of landed close. Here, stand up. I have to see. When you stand, then I can kind of see it.
I'm going to sit her down. I'm going to try to sit her down.
Okay, here we go. I'm skipping that exporters word. That they will be able to get their goods in the UK post-Brexit, whether it be wine, medical... Oh, I read that sentence already. No, I didn't. Okay. They are significant and necessary step in our post-Brexit preparations. We want to minimize disruptions to trade flows and provide as much certainty to Australian exporters as we can. On top of these, we are committed to securing a comprehensive free trade agreement with the UK as soon as they are in position to do so, which will even further boost trade flows between our two countries. Minister for Agricultural David Littleproud. What Littleproud? What is that? What kind of last name is that? Littleproud. No, Great Proud. I'm going into the Irish part. It's very difficult. Go ahead, carry on. Said nearly a third of Australia's exported wine went to the UK last year, and wine producers are keen to ensure the UK does not have to rely on the EU's sources after Brexit. This agreement protects Australia's geographical indicators so UK consumers know our wine is fair dinkum. Fair dinkum.
Said Mr. Littleproud.
Littleproud. It's the worst last name ever.
How about lots of proud?
Lots of proud. Mega proud.
Okay,
proud.
basically,
Large
you
proud.
get the idea. Australia is ready to make deals. America is ready to make deals. Everybody's ready to make deals. Okay? Stop with your namby-pamby, pooty-doody, whatever that is.
They just said dinkum. Wait, who do we Aussies in this? This dinkum.
So, in Germany,
oh my goodness,
people, including employees of an asylum home in Germantown of Guben, are said to have been injured after a migrant went after employees armed with a hatchet 2 men at the asylum home were sent to the hospital as a result of the incident, which saw a 20-year-old Syrian become violent after a dispute between him and 2 other migrants. The 20-year-old is said to have been in an argument argument first with a 22-year-old, was it 21 or 22-year-old, who he injured with a knife, and then a 26-year-old who he bit on the shoulder.
Wait a minute!
Vitamin D.
Next thing, we are banning teeth. Teeth are a weapon, and you can't have them. That is it. You go biting people. Weapons.
So I've
Razors.
seen World War Z, and I'm just thinking that maybe the zombie apocalypse has started.
Yeah, people are biting people.
German town of Gopen.
Yeah. Biters. You know what? They went to daycare.
Probably not. They probably learned that somewhere else.
That's where they get that.
When employees of the asylum home tried to intervene in the ongoing violence, they were allegedly attacked. The police claim with the hatchet. Fortunately, they were able to escape the office, the door of which was damaged in the attack. So this hatchet was flying everywhere.
Hang on. So Applemark looked up dinkum for me. Genuine or right, dinkum bloke. Fair dinkum, genuine or true. Used to emphasize the truth of something in or asking for the truth of something to be confirmed.
Okay.
Fair dinkum.
Got it. So this dude fled the scene. One of them fled the scene, but was tracked down following a manhunt by police who caught him aboard a train headed from Guben to Cottbus. He, along with the 20-year-old who initiated the violence, was taken into police custody. I'm sure they'll be out rather soon.
So Britt Baza says, Michelle, what about false nails that women get in the nail bar? They should be banned too, because it's weapon, death.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We're banning everything. We're banning your hands because you can punch somebody as a, we're banning everything.
So a former imam from Pakistan who migrated to Germany and converted to Christianity, yay, now claims that he faces death threats in his native country from many, including members of his own family. I'm shocked.
I wonder why.
I am shocked. I don't know how this could ever happen. The 34. It's not like they'd have the death penalty in Pakistan for, for the poor Isa Bibi who drank water from a Muslim cup from Muslims who
and she
cup
was a
the
Christian.
Muslims were drinking out of. This 34-year-old said he grew up in a religious household in Pakistan and trained from the age of 8 to become an imam, just as his father and grandfather had been before him. Following missionary work in Greece, where he had planned to start his own mosque missionary work he began his conversion to Christianity. You gotta praise those Greek people for converting.
They do a good job.
It's like taking a Jehovah Witness in and teaching them they need to find Jesus, real Jesus.
Any Jehovah Witnesses that we have watching our show, we welcome you.
But you need Jesus all the way. You got part of him. You need him all the way. Where he had planned to start his own mosque. Just get rid of that other Bible. He began his conversion to Christianity and now says he fears for his life in Pakistan.
Oh, man, that's so hard.
The German paper identifies the imam under a different name for his own safety. And according to Mr. Maish, it was the charity of a Christian couple in Greece that began his journey to Christianity, saying he had previously been taught to reject other faiths. During my studies, I was persecuted and I persecuted and oppressed Christians myself. Then the question flared up in my heart, why? After converting, this man moved back to Pakistan where he founded an underground church, which was eventually discovered.
Oh, no.
After the discovery, he claims he was beaten half to death by members of his own family and friends, along with others from his own town. But diversity is all strength. Several other attempts were made on his life. His claims including one involving an AK-47 that jammed before he could be shot, leaving the then 26-year-old to flee to Germany and seek asylum. Despite being granted asylum in Germany, he was still under threat from violent Islamists and claims that he was stabbed by 2 men who he said spoke Urdu, the main language spoken in Pakistan. Now, 2 things can be true at the same time. Number 1, this man, this man went to Greece.
Yes.
Legally.
Yes.
And as a person probably starting a mosque was not, I'm guessing, relying on German welfare.
Okay, hang on. So, same exact best friend calling during our show, who I told her that we do a show every Sunday. And I told her, you always call on Fridays when we do our show. I said, you always call on Sundays when we do our show. I texted her this morning and said, I'm doing a show at 1. Calls. She's not dense. She's a very smart, intelligent person. Just maybe preoccupied. I don't know.
You could tell her next time we're outing her on YouTube.
I'm gonna say her name. That's what I'm gonna do next time. Some of you who know me, who know I talk about this person, know who I'm talking about. Crazy people, not paying attention to their best friends do a show. 1 o'clock every Sunday
from 1 to 3.
For crying out loud.
So funny.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of the text that I took that I sent live at 1 today. Circle it. Send it back.
So anyways, I wanted to be clear that we are not anti-immigration and we're not anti-Muslim, okay? When you go through the right channels, you're normally vetted and background checks and things like that.
Right.
In this world, you're going to have danger. And so on that point, but what Sadiq Khan and all these other Islamists and crazy European people say, let's just bring people in unvetted, okay? Here's the thing. If you don't come in through the front door, I have to assume that you're a robber.
Right.
If you come through the front door and you become a robber, then that's your fault. She could. If you come through the front door and then you become a criminal, that's shame on you. But if you break in the front door and you become a criminal, shame on me. So we have to be able to differentiate between somebody who comes in legally and somebody who doesn't come in legally. Okay? She could use that, and we give doggies tramadol and turmeric and hemp oil. There's a lot of stuff they get. So I'm glad that he was granted asylum, and I do believe this is one area where we do need to grant asylum, because remember, you guys, these Middle Eastern countries were once kind of barbarian, pagan, right? And then pretty much all the Middle East became a Christian, and then was conquered by Islam. And a lot of these people have, when you go back, they are Christians. And so a lot of them want to be Christians. A lot of them want to follow God, but they're not even given the opportunity to, because the government is obviously, if you're not, then you're dead. So he's this guy is just one of a large number of Christians persecuted around the world, according to the Christian charity Open Doors, who recently released a report showing that about 4,000 were murdered just because of their faith last year. Wow. And a total of 245 million Christians across the globe face persecution. In 2016, Open Doors reported that as many as 40,000 Christians in Germany were under threat of persecution. Many of them were converts from Islam.
Wow.
So I wanted to...
And you know what? When you are being persecuted for your faith, you are the ones that get asylum in our country.
Right, exactly.
And we say that, but it bears repeating over and over and over again. You don't just get to come in and jump in front of people that have it worse than you.
So that's why these NGOs have been training people to fake stories.
Right.
And to fake being Christians when they're not.
Exactly.
Merkel is calling for the development again of EU army weapons. Now, weapon systems. We know they want the army. Now they want this weapon system.
This woman is insane.
No, she's not. She's part of, I think she's criminally insane.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Very intelligent. For her mastermind plan.
And she was put there. She's a puppet. She was put there.
Yeah.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel has the European Union said the European Union must deepen its defense cooperation, including developing shared weapon systems. I love sharing. It's like they don't want kids to have fake guns, but they want to share their weapon systems.
Right.
It is good. After several decades, we want to develop a common defense policy. We must develop weapon systems together. The German Chancellor went on. This is really reminding me of Nazism right here. And this is probably the only place where it's okay. Like, everything can't be Nazis. Okay, this is Germany, the home of Nazis. If they're rising up again, then this is probably the place where they're going to rise again. Okay, and it's going to come in the form of the EU, because that's what the whole point of Nazism was to take over Europe.
I saw a preview for a movie that's coming out, or is out, about Hitler's right-hand man who fled, and then the story of pursuing him. And it's kind of creepy, and as I was watching the preview, I thought, it would be really great if they would incorporate the fact that those people ended up, not that guy specifically, but kind of broaden the storyline a little bit and then carry it through to how they just decided to birth the European Union, and they're the same people that just like repackaged it, rebranded it, and
somebody needs to make a blockbuster movie on that.
A blockbuster movie,
but whoever did would die, probably be killed before it went.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: she wants to sweep aside rules, strict export rules, for them, because anybody who develops an airplane with us would like to know whether they can sell the plane with us. We will have to make compromises.
Mm-hmm. No, you won't.
That is what we are talking about at the moment.
Oh yeah, no. When they say that, they say that we will have to make compromises, what it means is our plan is going to be put in place. You're going to have to compromise.
Right.
That's what that means.
The prospect of this EU army was once labeled as a dangerous fantasy by Remain campaigners during the UK's referendum on membership. They said no. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, and since Brexit, it's becoming more of a thing.
The EU army is coming. Be afraid.
Yeah. So, a female genital mutilation trial. African couple cast black magic spells on police, doctors, and court hearers. Cows' tongues bound in wire with nails and used in black magic spells to silence the police and the doctors were found in the freezer of a Ugandan woman accused of committing female genital mutilation against her 3-year-old daughter.
Oh my gosh.
The 37-year-old woman and the Ghanaian man, 43, who cannot be named for legal reasons, are on trial accused of mutilating their daughter and for failing to protect her from FGM. In August 2017. The BBC reports that the mother had an interest in witchcraft. And that when police searched her East London home, they found the animal parts prepared in a ritualistic manner.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? Hang on, I'm going to interrupt you right here. This just goes to show you, it goes to prove that FGM is in the same, it is witchcraft. It's in the same category as child sacrifices, okay? I mean, it is evil. So it goes hand in hand. This is not a regular, just, it's a Muslim woman gone crazy and they're going to blame it all on her witchcraft and not say that FGM itself is bad and that this culture teaches it. Oh my goodness.
So, according to a WhatsApp message between the mother and the father the day after the alleged mutilation, these items may have been used as part of a spell to silence those involved with the investigation. The 2 cow tongues were bound in wire with nails and a small blunt knife was embedded in them. 40 limes were found and other fruit, which, when opened, contained pieces of paper with names on them. The names embedded include both police officers involved in the investigation of the case, the social worker, her own son, and the then director of public prosecutions. These people were to shut up and freeze their mouths. There was a jar with a picture of a social worker and pepper found hidden behind the toilet in the bathroom. Another spell was hidden under the bed.
Oh my gosh!
The Ugandan woman told police that her daughter had cut her genitals falling after trying to reach for a biscuit descending from a countertop. The couple are also alleged to have told the daughter to tell authorities that she had fallen, as her parents described, but the court heard the now 5-year-old had confided in her foster parents and police that her mother and father, who lives nearby, held her down while a witch cut her. This is where I fell. I tried to get a biscuit and I fell over, the child said in the first interview. And the court heard, she later told her foster care that the woman she called a witch cut my privates. I'm not going to read it, but the court heard that the victim had to be taken to Whipps Cross Hospital. There was a significant amount of blood loss as a result of her injuries and 3 separate sites of injuries. So here's the thing. The same thing in like South Africa. A lot of Africa is bound to satanic witchcraft and it goes back pretty far. And recognizing that your own ancestors, by the way, if you're European or Hispanic or wherever, pretty much the whole globe nobody on the globe gets a pass for this. Everybody, when you read the Bible, every tribe in the entire world did, crazy sacrifices. Even people tout Rome as like the Battiston of intellectualism, but they still had you know, altars to,
Molech.
yeah, well, Rome didn't, but to, they had sex cults and they did sacrifices, and so nobody gets a pass. So you don't get to look on and say, hey, Africa, those people are crazy, because your own ancestors, they were brought out of this kind of mentality by meeting Jesus Christ. Okay? And you have St. Patrick, right? And Ireland becoming Christian. You've got Scandinavia becoming Christian. You've got the UK that was pagan. England was pagan. They did sacrifices. We get Halloween from this kind of pagan mentality. You know, it's bad luck to have a black cat walk in front of you. I mean, all this stuff is like witchcrafty. And it is based in a semblance of, if you follow evil, then there's power there. There is an evil, and there is power in evil. And that's when Jesus said, the weapons of your warfare are not of this world. Okay? But they are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. And there are powers and principalities, and there are demons in this world. But Jesus came and he stole the keys of death and hell. He stole the power from people to be able to commit witchcraft. I mean, you guys know the story of Exodus, where there was the 10 plagues. Maybe. The 10.
It's freezing out there.
It's cold out there. Do you want to switch? I have a
No.
jacket.
Come on.
There's the 10 plagues. I was just reading Exodus today, and we didn't call them necromancers or whatever. I don't know. They're the witch doctors. They were able to do some of the same spells that Moses and Aaron did. The miracles that Moses and Aaron did, they were able to do some of them, like turn their rods into snakes. And that's kind of a thing in the Middle East, where like you can charm a snake to be like a rod. So there's a lot of things that they could do that was like magic. Some of it was not of this world. So, but anyways, people want to know, why is Africa still stuck? Why haven't they evolved? Why haven't they come to the place that the Western societies have come? And you have, what you see now is all a result of the knowledge that people gain through Christianity. He enlightens your mind. Now people can take that knowledge and they do very bad things, like make nuclear bombs, right? And in my opinion, Ford creating the car, and especially the car on the assembly line, was a bad thing to do with that kind of knowledge. If people want to build cars themselves, that's their own prerogative. But the assembly line and treating people like slaves and manufacturing, that's not the Lord, because that's not the essence of human beings. So, but that's a whole other story. I just didn't want everybody to like say, oh, Africa is crazy and backwards, because it is crazy and backwards, but so was Europe at one time. And when you go to, everybody likes to talk about the Aztec Indians and the great monuments and the Mayans and things that they built, but like they had human sacrifices. They took the hearts out of living kids, and it's craziness. Okay, what happened to Christianity? Everybody just needs more Jesus. That's what I'm trying to say. Need more Jesus. Everybody needs more Jesus. All right, ex-minister. We're going back to Brexit. Former junior Brexit minister Steve Baker, an MP, has said that the Prime Minister's cabal abused the British Constitution to negotiate her failed Brexit in name-only deal behind the Brexit department's back. And that's, I think, another thing. It was so secret. Nobody who supported Brexit really got to be a part of making this deal and put their thoughts out there. Mr. Baker told Sky News on Wednesday that the only option to save Brexit is to push for a free trade agreement that was offered by the bloc a year ago. The deputy chairman for the European Research Group, ERC group of Tory Brexiteers, led by Rees Moggs, explained that he and other ministers at the Department for Exiting the European Union had agreed on that approach last summer, and told officials they wanted a free trade agreement based on Brexit, and that within weeks the EU had made a corresponding offer. But the reason why the then Secretary of State for Brexit, David Davis, and I had to resign is that, unfortunately, the officials of the Prime Minister worked around ministers in the department responsible to come up with this ridiculous half-in, half-out plan, and that is the heart of our difficulties. On Tuesday evening, we had Prime Minister Theresa May's EU withdrawal agreement was defeated by a historic margin, 202 in favor, 432 against. He says, if proper constitutional procedures had been followed, if the policy of the Brexiteer ministers had been carried through, if we matched the offer of the EU, we wouldn't be in this mess today, he says. So I have Farage here on this. We're on the verge of Brexit being betrayed, he says. Nigel Farage, let me see if this is a video. It's a comment. Leave campaigner Nigel Farage has warned that Brexit is on the verge of being betrayed and Leavers must be prepared to continue to fight either in the face of Article 50 being delayed or a possible second referendum. This is where it kind of gets confusing because he says that he would create a whole new party because he left UKIP, which kind of would be, I don't know, kind of tough because you want a united party, a united front, a united pro-Brexit, which would mean Nigel Farage would need to swallow his pride and embrace other people that he might find a little bit repugnant. And I think in that, he needs to, I think Nigel needs to kind of not be so afraid, but I understand in Britain why he's, tries to distance himself from anybody and anything. There goes Sydney. Earthquake! Speaking to Sky News on Friday morning, the Brexit architect said that while the 498 MPs had voted for Article 50, the mechanism for leaving the EU, which states that if a withdrawal agreement is not negotiated, and the United Kingdom should leave the bloc on World Trade Organization terms on March 29th, he fears that our political establishment, including our Prime Minister and the House of Commons, is going to effectively overturn Brexit, he warns. To me, the most likely outcome of all this is an extension of Article 50. Secondly, if it's the worst case scenario, but there could be a referendum. What I do know is that the Remain side is well funded, well organized, and ready for a second referendum, he said, saying it would be negligent for Leavers to not be prepared. Farage says that he believes Article 50 being contested is the most likely option, and if it is extended by more than 3 months, he will be running in the European elections, but not with UKIP. He made his warning also in an opinion piece for The Telegraph published on Thursday evening, in which he said that should Article 50 be delayed by more than 3 months, Britain would need to prepare candidates for the May elections for the European Parliament, a European Union body that Brexiteers had been expecting to exit since the vote on leave on June 23rd, 2016, that he would be running. Brexiteers must accept that the Brexit betrayal is happening. In line with my New Year's resolution, I am preparing to fight the European elections on May 23rd and working with Leave Means Leave to assemble a cross-party campaign to fight a second referendum, should one occur. Not to do so would be negligent. It would also betray the 17.4 million people who voted for the UK's independence. So that's kind of a tricky thing, but he's saying, I think what he's saying here is he'll have to run again to be in the European Parliament. If they're still in the EU, then he thinks he's going to be leaving, but if they're still in the EU.
I'm not sure that she finished pooping because she pooed and then she fell over.
Oh, Bubby.
And so then I picked her up.
Bubby Pin.
And we waited, and so I don't know if she needs to go back out or not.
Why don't you just go lie down? We'll get you in a little bit. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
This is real deal. Nothing gets faked here on our show.
Nothing gets faked here.
Nope, I fell over again. Come on.
I told you this. Labour Party Jeremy Corbyn said on Thursday that only a general election in the United Kingdom can break the deadlock and find a solution that works for the whole country.
What happened?
No, I'm just talking about Corbyn saying he wants a general election. That's a really bad idea. But I think this is, watch Jacob Rees-Moggs and Vernon Bogdanner, who is widely regarded as UK's foremost constitutional expert, are both clear. The statute has been passed that says we leave the European Union, so you really can't extend it, so we'll see.
You know there is no majority in the House of Commons for any form of hard Brexit.
Well, you say that,
and that is the common wisdom. But MPs voted for Article 50, which says after 2 years you leave, and they voted for the Withdrawal Act, which said we would leave on the 29th of March. And now a large number of them saying, well, we never really meant that. Either they didn't read what they were voting for, or they've got very short memories. Parliament voted to leave on the 29th of March with or without a deal. That is
so what, you could
law.
shame them into that? I mean, you've heard what an awful lot of
It's
people,
not a question.
the SNP and the Labour backbenchers have been saying.
It's not a question of shaming. It's a question of the legal position. And this is very important. And again, I defer to Vernon, but if you have parliamentary rule purely by motion, that is in fact tyranny. Parliament could decide any day that the law would be overturned by a single motion, by one vote, and that's it. We don't have that system. We have a system where laws are made deliberatively and carefully through a structured process. And therefore a motion in Parliament can never overturn the law, and MPs voted for the law that we leave on the 29th of March.
You mentioned Professor Balkanor, and let's have it on that. I mean, that is precisely the point, though, isn't it? And as you made earlier in the evening, that the law has been passed to leave the European Union, and until that law, and if that law is changed, is the only way that exits or even an extension of Article 50 can happen.
Absolutely. Jacob paid me a very generous compliment earlier, but he's no mean constitutional thinker himself, and he's absolutely right on this point, that a statute has been passed saying that we leave the European Union on the 29th of March this year. The only way you can alter that situation is by another statute. Suppose, for argument's sake, that the House of Commons passed a motion in favour of a second referendum. That would have no legal effect. You'd have to have a bill providing for a second referendum. That would have to go through committee. It'd be quite a long process, because I imagine that Jacob and others would fight it tooth and nail. It would take some time. That would have to get onto the statute book. Or if you had some other arrangement, that too would require legislation. So there are about 40-odd sitting days left till March 29th. If no other statute is passed, we leave without a deal.
That is all pretty much sums it all up. Did you understand what he's saying?
Yeah.
So basically, hey guys, you made a law that says that we're going to leave on the 29th of March.
Regardless of whether there's a deal or not.
You passed it. The people voted.
Right.
And then they had to make a law that said we're leaving the European Union, which had everybody pretty much in Parliament vote for it.
And the way that he says, either they have a short memory or they didn't understand, but that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. As a legislator, and we have this here in the United States, every government has this. We get these bills that get passed and they get voted on. No one opens them up to read them. That's not our problem. It's not our problem that you didn't read the bill that you passed.
Right.
Okay? It's your responsibility to know what you have passed. And so when Rees-Mogg says, listen, we voted on this, they voted on this, can't help it.
Exactly. So we're going to go to Sweden for a moment. Sweden. Maia stole the Swedish woman's puppies and beat her unconscious and tried to break her neck. A dog breeder in southern Sweden was brutally beaten in connection with a robbery last week. 3 masked men stole her 6 puppies. Now several puppy ads written in poor Swedish and at low prices have appeared on various websites.
Hang on a minute. Is it okay for them to sell puppies?
What do you mean?
Because they're against dogs.
I don't know.
Muslims.
I don't know if they were Muslims or just bad immigration, but she says they spoke in a foreign language. There's no doubt about it. When she regained consciousness, one of the men tried to break her neck. The attempt was interrupted. Instead, they duct taped her mouth and stole her puppies.
Oh my gosh. So if these ads have been posted, can they follow the ads back to arresting these people?
You would think so. You would definitely think so.
Don't mess with puppies and don't hurt people.
Yeah.
And don't let these kind of people into your country. Stop it.
I had another article. Here we go. In Sweden. Nearly half of Swedish women in early 20s feel insecure due to crime. Half. Statistics released by the Swedish Criminal Statistics Agency, BRA, revealed that 42% of the women ages 20 to 24 feel insecure in their everyday lives, fearful they could become victims of the various crimes. The new statistics are part of the agency's National Security Survey of 2018, which found the women surveyed claim they have changed their route or mode of transport due to fears of crime. Maria Sodenstrom, an investigator with BRA, that's instituted.
I'm sure it's pronounced differently.
That's how you say it.
Really?
Yeah. commented on the results, saying the fact that many people's lives are limited by the fact that they have to change their travel routes and methods is a serious consequence of the insecurity and anxiety about crimes that young women say they experience. Sweden used to be a really safe place. Everybody, Sweden utopia. The report
Not
comes
anymore.
after another report released last July, which showed nearly half of the women living in vulnerable areas, often referred to as no-go zones, felt insecure in their own neighborhoods after dark. And obviously, Sweden doesn't have enough cops to investigate these things, investigate crimes. They're like, oh, there's a rape. Oh, sorry, we don't have enough police to go after that. So it's kind of crazy. I think I wanted to read the next one about Finland. I think, where's that one?
You don't often go to Finland.
Yeah, well, the Finland government, where'd it go? I must have shut it off. I think.
Well,
go ahead.
If it was on Twitter, there was something I pressed on Twitter when I was setting up. Was it on Twitter?
No.
Okay, then I didn't.
No. No. No, it was the Finnish prime minister said basically, I thought, is this it? No, that one's not it. Here we go.
Hey, we are.
New cases of child rape revealed in Finland. President says asylum seekers brought evil with them.
Hey, well, so at least he's admitting it, and that's great.
Right, that's what I'm going to show you. The number of cases of rape and abuse of children with foreign perpetrators has been revealed in Oulu, the northern parts of Finland, since last autumn. The police are investigating another 4 cases with girls under the age of 15, where 3 perpetrators of foreign background have been arrested and suspected of rape and serious abuse of children. In all cases, the suspects have background as refugees or asylum seekers.
That shit, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about Finland. I'm talking about the UK, Sweden, whatever. It's always the refugees and the asylum seekers or illegal migrants or whatever you want to call them. It's always them.
Well, it's not always. Come on.
Almost
That's
always.
what we cover, the ones that are them, but seriously, it's a majority of it.
Getting on my angry eyes.
Disproportionate.
Thank you.
And now the police in
That's a better way
Helsinki
of
have
saying
arrested several migrants suspected of serious rape and serious abuse of children. Finland's Prime Minister, Juha Sipilä, wrote on Twitter, as a result of the inhuman and reprehensible events in Oulu and Helsinki, the government will meet next week in negotiations both on Tuesday and Friday. It is unbearable that people who have asked for and even received asylum from us have brought such evil and caused unsafety here.
Good.
Finland is like a really safe place, but now you have women, like, I think I showed you the video of a woman in a hijab. Like, there's not enough women in a hijab here. Like, there needs to be more. There needs to be more diversity. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. A lot of anti-Semitism going around lately. It kind of gets on my nerves.
Oh, no kidding.
Here in America with the Women's March. And then you have this Malaysian prime minister who defends barring Israelis, denies being anti-Semitic. Malaysia's prime minister said his country has a right to deny entry to Israelis and that it was unfair to label him as anti-Semitic due to his anti-Semitic remarks, which have included calling Jews hook-nosed and claiming they have an obsession with money.
Okay, hang on, though, because that's kind of funny.
Mohammed told...
I mean, you can kind of say that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, but...
Not the hook-nosed part. I mean the obsession with money, because they kind of do. And, we always joke that they're good with money, they're tight with money, but it's all in good fun. It's not like anti-Semitic remarks. So I'm just wondering...
this is those are anti-Semitic remarks because he doesn't mean them funny.
Yeah.
Okay, he means them like we're keeping you out of our country because we think you're evil.
Right.
And he said a country has a right to keep its borders closed to certain people, and that's why borders are there. His comments came after Malaysia barred entry for Israeli athletes taking part in a Paralympic swimming tournament. Israel described the move as shameful and called on the International Paralympic Committee to pressure Malaysia into walking back the decision or else changing the venue for the tournament. So you can't have a tournament, a worldwide tournament, in a place that doesn't allow people to come.
It's ridiculous.
Like,
you just don't get to host.
Yeah. Malaysia, Mohammed continued, has no diplomatic relations with Israel at all, and we don't think that that they should come to our country because we have no relations with them.
That's stupid.
We feel that they were doing a lot of wrong things, but getting away with it because nobody dares say anything against them. And the host asked him whether it was fair to penalize individual Israeli citizens. He says, well, it is not fair to call me an anti-Semite. They should call other people anti-Semitic. So, kind of crazy. There's a common theme around the world. In Austria, 4 out of 10, surprise, surprise, underage migrants lied about their age.
Underaged migrants. They're like 35 with a beard.
The Austrian government has released statistics showing that in 2017, 4 out of every 10 migrants who claimed to be underage were lying.
That's almost half.
Yeah. The statistics come after medical tests showing that 347 migrants out of 800 were flagged as potentially being adults.
Potentially being adults.
So many young-looking children there. Yeah, I could bring that up.
And they're okay with it, though. They're really not upset about that.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I mean, I do understand it, but this... Sorry, we're not going to go into... Okay, what do you got next?
I'm going to go over here. I have it up, but I want to find it on Nigel's page. He spoke in the European Parliament this week.
Okay.
And talking about possible second referendum or so I'm going to see if I can find if he put up his...
Well, he really has been working hard on the Leave Means Leave campaign. Yeah. He has put his everything behind it, and I'm really proud of him for doing that.
Right. Yeah, here he says, in the same sentence, a Remainer says she has respect for democracy, but they wants to scrap Brexit altogether.
Really depressing about listening to Nigel Farage is that he blames everybody but himself. He blames the media, he blames the politicians, and he reduces the whole debate to slogans. Will of the people, betrayal.
Democracy, how about that?
There you go.
Is that a bad word then?
I think democracy is...
Clearly, you've clearly got no respect for it.
I have a lot of respect for democracy.
Really?
Yes, I do.
So scrap Brexit?
Scrap Brexit. What the government decides to do after that is up to the government. But
that's not how democracies work. You don't get to...
Unbelievable.
Do you believe in democracy? Of course I believe in democracy when it goes my way.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to scrap Brexit and have the government decide. That's not democracy.
I think what she doesn't understand is, sister, your definition of democracy is not the same definition as everybody else. She says what the government decides to do after that. Democracy is the government. It's not the people. It's just the government.
Yeah, exactly.
We just trust the government. That's democracy.
Here he is. Barnier has got us exactly where he wants us. Catch up on his full remarks. Here we go. Here he comes. Ready?
I think they speak in tongues.
I love when he says,
Mr.
I want
Your Excellency, Mr. Barnier. Your Excellency, Mr. Timmermans.
Oh,
these are the terms
wait.
the British Prime Minister used in her begging
Hang on,
letter
pause your video, because I forgot to put the speaker here.
The Brexit
it's the speaker. Get it, the speaker.
Good, because we get to hear.
Once we have the studio, this will always be set up.
Per il gruppo della Libertà e della Democrazia Diretta, la parola all'onorevole Farage.
Your Excellency, Mr. Barnier, Your Excellency, Mr. Timmermans, these are the terms that the British Prime Minister used in her begging letter just a couple of days before the Brexit vote. And the fact she used those terms is entirely consistent with the entire negotiation. I realised on the 8th of December 2017 where this was going, where to meet a deadline set by Mr. Barnier, an unelected bureaucrat in Brussels, the Prime Minister left Downing Street at 4:15 in the morning to fly to meet you, and running up to the deadline, she signed up for the principle of the Irish backstop. The pass was sold from that moment. It has been throughout a total failure of leadership, but perhaps more significantly, she hasn't learnt or heeded the historical lesson that if you appease bullies, they always come back for more. She's behaved like a leader of a nation defeated in war. And that is why this withdrawal agreement looked more like a surrender document, and it was smashed to pieces in the House of Commons last night. She, of course, believed that she'd get some concessions from you today, but it's perfectly clear with what you've said, there are no concessions to come. She is still our Prime Minister, and that of itself is quite remarkable. If she had any sense of honour, she'd be gone by lunchtime today. There are some, Mr. Barnier, there are some here who say you've wasted 2 years of your life. I disagree completely, because you've got us now exactly where you want us. And that's despite the fact that 500 MPs voted for Article 50, which of course makes very clear that there are 2 years in which to negotiate a withdrawal agreement or we just leave. And that was backed up, of course, by the Act of Parliament, the Withdrawal Act, which once again says, unconditionally, we leave on the 29th of March. Now, Mr. President, you say there's no support for no deal, but then you all thought there was no support for Brexit in the first place. You might be surprised how quickly public opinion is changing. Mr. Timmermans, you say this would cause great harm. But if we leave on no deal, if we stick to the law as it is, we become an independent country. And I would say to you, what price? Freedom. But I'll be the first to admit, I doubt this will happen. Because working in cahoots with you, we have Mr. Blair and many other leaders of the British establishment who treat the Brexit vote and treat voters in general with total and utter contempt. And there is a great tradition here, isn't there? We've seen it with Denmark and with Ireland. You make people vote again. All I can say is if we finish up with an extension of Article 50, we may well finish up fighting the next set of European elections, and we will fight them. And if the betrayal becomes complete and we are forced to vote in a second referendum, you may be in for a big surprise. The British may be a very placid people, very laid back, but I promise you, if they get pushed too far, it's a lion that will roar. We will be even more defiant if we have to fight a second referendum, and we'll win it by a bigger majority.
Here.
The lady in the back was like,
Patriot Gallery.
Well, for some reason, I don't know why these politicians don't just lay it out. I mean, they're all playing these games.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that Barack Obama sent billions of dollars of cash in these pallets to Iran. And Iran said all these leaders in Europe were taking bribes. So why don't we just say she was bought off? How much, and in America, you can find out how much these people make. I wonder how much Trisha May made, you know, before she was a prime minister and after she was prime minister. With like Barack Obama went into office at $500,000. He came out $40 million. They don't get paid that much. You know,
It's all donations.
Right. Clintons went in and they came out $100 million more. This is what's wrong, and that's why we got to go back to gold and silver, because all this money, they can print as much as they want. I mean, we're missing $21 trillion. Nobody knows where it is. I mean, we got to get back to gold and silver. These people have to prove they've got the money in their pocket.
Yeah.
And if they come up with this extra gold and silver, we're going to find out where it came from. But I'm just saying, Trisha, well, most of the parliament's bought off by George Soros. Right? And also the EU. I mean, why don't they just say it? What's going on here? You guys are a bunch of traitors. You have no care for people whatsoever.
Right.
So, in a random thought, where are we at on our 30 days on Mass Effect 3?
It should be up yesterday.
So it's the weekend.
So we're waiting. We will wait. Now, the last time we went through this, I'm waiting for Jasper outside. Hence the blanket. The last time we went through this, it took like 6 weeks instead of the regular 30 days. So I'm probably just going to wait and let it die out.
Well, until then, I'm trying to be careful on what I play from the BBC or British television or anything, because I don't want to not be able to go live at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So don't. Yeah,
Next week
4
is the most important in 50 years in British parliamentary politics, as the Prime Minister's withdrawal deal goes before the House of Commons. It is going to get rejected. Then what? Well, within a few days we'll know. It is quite possible that we could leave with no deal on WTO. And as far as I'm concerned, no deal, no problem. But it is more likely that many in our political class will try and weasel their way out of this and force us to either extend Article 50 or even start to push towards a second referendum. We need to let our parliamentarians know that our vote in 2016 was genuine. We meant it. In fact, in many ways, we mean it even more strongly today. So next Thursday evening, Methodist Central Hall, Storys Gate in Westminster, is the next Leave means leave.
So there was the Leave Means Leave rally this week, and I think it went really well. There's a lot there. I wonder if Good Morning Britain is part of.
No, I'm sure.
The rest of the world is looking on with incredulity at what they think is a great country being led so badly in such a shambolic way. So it's not good for our standing in the world. It's not good for investment into Britain. We need a resolution. There is a way out. It is the legislation. We should leave on March the 29th. I still hope and pray that happens, but I fear, as I said, that we're going to get an extension of Article 50, and what you will hear are voices in Westminster pushing hard for a second referendum, even though there is no real will for it out there in the country.
I've always thought, from the start of all this, the only way you really get anywhere with this is if the person in charge of driving this for the country is a Brexiteer. Someone like you or Boris Johnson or Jacob Rees-Mogg or whatever. We still have a Remainer who voted Remain in Theresa May, and we now are where we are.
Yeah, but also you've got in cabinet, you've got Michael Gove in cabinet, who's a leading campaigner for Brexit, and he backed the withdrawal agreement and May's deal.
Right.
So again, I say the Brexiteers, even if you want a Brexiteer as driver of the train, Brexiteers do not agree on the same.
I agree. But here's my point: is there time, Nigel Farage, to parachute a Brexiteer in to replace Theresa May if she did fall on her political sword? Is there time for a Brexiteer to get back in the room with the EU and try and screw a deal which pleases people like you?
Do you know something? One thing the EU is good at is 11th hour negotiations. I'm utterly convinced, and I've worked in business, so it sort of helps with these negotiations. If a new Prime Minister came in, went to Brussels and said, we are leaving at 11 p.m. on March the 29th on WTO terms, within 48 hours, the European Union would come back to us because of pressure from the German car industry, the French wine industry, the Belgian chocolate industry, and they'd come back to us. Do you know what, Piers? They'd bite our arms off, and we'd finish up leaving with a sensible free trade arrangement. There is still time. Brexit's not the problem. This Prime Minister is. She needs to go.
I voted Remain. But I completely agree with this. I think the problem is they look at Theresa May, they know she's basically a dead woman walking as Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's a really good clip. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And the top of Drudge was May Day embarrassing defeat. Does she want to sit? Looks like she wants to sit. Maybe she wants up on the couch. She hasn't been up on the couch in a while.
No, she wants to lay right here. Well,
okay.
No, I don't know.
All right, so actually, guys, that's kind of my story, except for this random article in French people who have sterilized themselves to save the world. They said.
No.
Vice's French website has celebrated young people in France who have opted to get themselves permanently sterilized to save the world.
Joking me.
This is where the brainwashing of like the end of the world, like climate change stuff goes, and it's really sad. Like these are young people who have been like, like I can save the world if I just don't have kids. Like okay, fantastic.
That's horrible.
I know.
No.
Right.
Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is okay. You do realize why we are here, and you do realize why the earth is suffering. It doesn't have anything to do with overpopulation. That's not it. You will save the world by having more children and raising them up correctly.
Yeah, so
wow, that's horrible.
Yeah.
And people are encouraging this. Those people should be shot.
He says, children are forced to drink milk, finish their meat, to be strong and adhere to norms. This quality of life that we offer them is absolutely not worth living. The simple fact to have children has become an egotistic choice and warn the simple fact of living pollutants.
Oh my gosh.
Remember, in Italy,
they're
giving land to people who have a third child. So it's like,
it's the same ideology when you see these beta males join the Women's March or something. This apologetic, I'm sorry for being me. I'm sorry for being born. It's this self-hatred of they raise up kids to teach them you are bad. Your very existence on this planet makes you pollute it, right? and so you are bad. You shouldn't be alive.
He also they also said adoption is even less irresponsible than pure procreation because you're importing a procreate from a poor country to embrace the rich lifestyle of Western countries. So it's better if they stay and do less damage by pulling their water from a well than by living in a nice house.
Unbelievable. Okay, so Barry wanted me to check about the bomb in Ireland last night. Did you see that? So
I know that the Queen's husband was in an accident.
Really?
Yeah, he's like 97 years old or something.
No way.
Yeah.
He's 97?
I think he's pretty old. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's copy this.
That's a thing.
We're going to open it here and we will see.
Oh, I had a little clip from Tommy I wanted to play.
Okay.
While you do that.
Hey, dummy.
As you all know, social media giants have been censoring truth tellers around the world. The day will come when they totally wipe us off all of their platforms. The process has clearly already begun. We're in an information war and we must fight back. Over the past few months, my team and I have been busy building a new media website that will host some of the most silenced voices. Today, I'm really excited to announce our first contributor, Australia's legendary Avi Yemeni. I love Avi. I absolutely love him. He's like a firework to try and put in a bottle. He's like a little rocket. They've tried silencing Avi by removing his popular pages. I'm sure soon others would follow. He's been kicked off Facebook. He's been deplatformed left, right and centre, like most of us. I've been following Avi's great work over the past few years, and it's absolutely vital that he continues to expose what's really happening down under.
What comes first?
Are you in this life?
Sharia
Are you in this life? 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 You are a terrorist.
Are you calling Trump a monkey? My question is, would you do that? Would you do that with Obama? Would you call Obama a monkey? Do you understand why the community doesn't trust you guys? Were there hundreds of people there today?
Yes, exactly. There were hundreds of people there. Many hundreds of people. There were hundreds of people there.
You're from the mainstream media. You're a joke. You will not report factually today. I guarantee it.
He's brilliant, isn't he? This is the kind of reporting they don't want you to see. But it's exactly what we need you to be seeing.
I don't want to talk to you, man, because you're a fucker.
I'm a fucker?
Yeah, go away. Don't threaten me.
I'm a scientist and I know what I'm talking about. Things are changing. Whether it's man-induced or not is not the issue.
It sort of is if you're standing here.
No. Whether it's man-induced or not is not the issue. Yeah, the issue is we have to change. And we have to get adaptable. We have to look at renewables. We have to clean up our act.
But if it's not man-induced, what will renewables help?
It will help.
How, if it's not man-induced? We want to bring in the refugees from South Africa. Are you happy?
I would prefer if the Rohingya came here first.
Why is that? Is that because they're brown? What do you hate about Trump?
I think he's got mental health issues.
He's got mental health issues. That's a good argument.
You're Jewish, right?
I'm Jewish.
You're Jewish. Forget it.
If we leave Brexit, then I will move to Mars. So I intend to go. So, they can wave me goodbye. Because I don't want to live here in a country that's xenophobic and racist.
Mars.
Sure, Mars is the only place. You can grow vegetables on Mars. You can't do that anywhere else in the solar system.
Last year we had a priority for Syrian refugees. Did you have a problem with that?
Absolutely, because they were Christian.
Drop dead, you're a fascist. Drop dead, you're a fascist. Drop dead, you're a fascist.
You told me to fuck off and you followed me.
We're here as Australian media reporting on a protest. That's what we're doing. So thank you. We're not doing anything wrong by being here.
So you're not going to call Tommy Robinson far right in your report on Australian TV? Because I've seen ABC time and time again label Tommy Robinson. No?
So don't let the elitists dictate the narrative.
Apparently, it's harassing to ask the mainstream media to report real news.
Be part of this exciting future. Simply follow the link in the description to register your name and email. Wow. That way we can send you the important content directly and bypass the thought police in the process. And it's important that you register now. I know what's coming. We all know what's coming. Soon enough, it'll be the only place on the internet that myself, that Avi, and the others who join us will be able to share our content freely.
So he's talking about a new platform.
Please follow the link in the description and then share it. Please share this post with your friends and your family everywhere. As they try and silence us, we must be able to connect and contact you.
Don't believe the fake news. Keep spreading the truth. Because we will not be silenced.
There are so many people out there like Avi, like Laura Loomer, like Tommy Robinson, who have the guts and the ability and means and call of God, I believe, to be doing what they're doing. And it is our job to back and support them and to put their message out when we can.
You might not do it. But somebody said Laura Loomer and Avi, they're doing things, so you don't have to. You don't have to get up there. They're not doing anything wrong, and they're not doing anything illegal. You may not like it. You may not be comfortable with getting up in people's faces. You may not like, hey, trying to hold people accountable for fake news, for calling Tommy Robinson far right, when what is far right? He literally is. You have to be specific with what you call people. You can say anti-Muslim immigration, okay?
Right.
You can even say anti-Islam. You could say things like that, but you can't say far right, whatever that even means. It's just a slur.
Exactly.
And we had something kind of crazy happen here in the United States yesterday via Twitter.
And we also didn't cover Trump's little 3 o'clock thing on the border.
Where these Catholic boys they were at the March for Life. And these black, and I didn't even know this, these black Hebrew Israelites, if you don't know about them, you can Google them. They have like really crazy beliefs, and they're black supremacists. They are black supremacists. But they started taunting this group of young boys. Mm-hmm. And then the Indians were there, these Native Americans were there.
Shame on you.
I know. And they said that they were trying to get in between the two of them. And the video that got spread was Covington Catholic student bothering an elder man and getting in the face of it. But actually, he came over. Why am I doing this? I'm trying to show you fake news. But this
for those of you unaware, we go to Covington frequently. We were just there. It's really close to us. 2 days ago.
So you see this right here. There's a Native American guy coming into their little group as they're waiting for the bus to come. And they're just saying Covington Catholic, and that's just saying they're doing their, they've got
so they didn't show the Native Americans coming into the crowd.
Right.
And that's where part of the fake news is.
Right. And can't see that one. Some of it's been taken down. A lot of it's been taken down. And then they did show at the end where these Hebrew Israelites were telling them, they said go back to Europe, basically. But then what they say to this black boy who's part of the Catholic school, they say to him, watch it, they're going to steal your organs when you get older.
When you get old enough, they're going to steal your organs.
No, that's Planned Parenthood's job.
And they're like, we love you, bro.
Get out! Get out! Get out, nigga! Get out, nigga! You want to see the movie? Why you being mean? Get out, nigga! Why are you ready?
So obviously he says it's a racial slur. It's okay for him to say it. Nobody's going to censor that. And so these black Hebrew, I don't know why they were there. They were yelling crazy things at these Catholic boys who were staying warm. They were trying to stay energized. They were waiting for their bus. And just this taunt happened. And then
this was at the March for Life. This was after the March for Life.
Right. This taunt happened. And then the Native Americans came in. They said that they were trying to break things up. But the
video that's gone viral is just of this young man
not doing anything. Right.
And he just smiles. And they call that, they say that he's taunting them just by standing there.
So what we've seen, though...
And they doxed this kid.
What we saw, though, and this goes back to Tommy Robinson and everything like that. On Twitter yesterday, conservatives went crazy. Oh my gosh, this kid is so disrespectful. Native Americans...
Because you don't
blah, blah,
ever
blah, blah,
mess
blah.
with Native Americans. If you're a Native American, you can't... Or a veteran, this combination, you can do no wrong no matter what you do.
So conservatives came out against him. Now, it came out, more videos were shown, what happened... And the narrative, so I've been on.
Now it's had to change a little
and
bit.
And so my big thing on one of my biggest pet peeves is when people are wrongfully accused.
Right.
Like, I hate that more than I hate just about anything. And the mom's been sharing on free sake. So there's somebody. So this is what happened. Make America Great hats were on these kids. And so then the mainstream media wanted to spin it. The natives push into a crowd of MAGA kids, drum in their faces, tell them to go back to Europe. Black Israelites accost a black MAGA kid. Black Israelites spout homophobia, and MAGA kid speaks up. Media and woke celebrities ruin these kids' lives. They dox these kids. They dox their addresses. And if you see the comments from the left, like, some of them said, who wants to just go punch these kids in the face? And the diocese had to come out with a statement that we don't, this isn't us. Of course it's not you, but here's a picture of it.
This kid just stood there.
That
guy said, "This is not your land. White people need to go back to Europe."
Yeah. This is not your land. White people go back to Europe. So, what this boy did, this specific young man, this Indian came right up into his face, beat a drum in his face. He didn't say anything. Yeah. He deserves a peace pipe and a peace medal. Right? And what I really wanted to talk about was the fact that the people on the right are so easy to throw people under the bus. Avi, because they don't like the way he works. Tommy Robinson, he's under the bus. Yeah. Alex Jones, he's under the bus. They don't like Laura Loomer because they don't like the way that they're doing things.
Yeah.
Milo. We've got, and that's what we're here for. We're here because our whole lives we've always had this intense desire to make sure justice is done.
Yeah.
I don't jump on a bandwagon to look good to the left, to look good to anybody. Okay. I find out, what did Roy Moore actually do? Because I liked him before. Okay. So what did he do? Did he do something? Okay. Then we're going to go for that.
Right.
But as the narrative unraveled, nobody cares about Christine Blasey Ford as she cried thinking that she had this experience at 15 years old, which she didn't have. Okay. Nobody cares about the accusers of Roy Moore. They even used Russian bots to sway an election. Nobody's talking about Russian bots in the Alabama election. Roy Moore won that election, but this is real pretend Russian meddling in our Alabama election. And so what does this have to do with Europe? It has everything to do with Europe, because we're all on the same page. I mean, you guys have less free speech than we do. You can't even, Lauren Southern can't even get into the UK, can't even go there anymore. The freedom to just even travel has been rescinded. So we have to, as we can, bring these things to the forefront. We have to share them. We have to say, this is insanity.
Yeah.
And we have to, this is where we draw the line in the sand, and we say, that's why we talk about Brexit, because Brexit is a line drawn in the sand. The people made the vote, but now they're painting them as homophobic, and the elites and the media and everybody's like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to leave. Do you want to leave? No, you don't want to leave. You want to be controlled. They're like, no, I don't want to be controlled. But there's people who are like, yeah, I want to be controlled. I want to be told what to do. So there you have it.
All right. So let's get to our mail call. Now, again, Arthur. Spelled Artur.
I had a message I wanted to read, but I don't want to bring up my messages on Facebook. Bring it up in Resistance Chicks. Yeah.
Let's see. Do you want to read that one first?
Because
then we're going to sample the thing.
Oh, okay. I'm so excited about that.
Me too. There's a treat that was sent in the mail.
We have a Me Too movement. Me too when it comes to chocolate. Me too.
Me too.
Hashtag Me Too. Just kidding. So yeah, it should say, hey, I'm going to read this. Thank you. No, it's this week.
Well, I can just go through them one at a time. No, I think it's probably this one. No.
Thank you so much.
No.
That one? Yeah, this one.
Okay. So David says, you want to read it?
No, go ahead, read it.
Well, I've been watching your show for 2 years now, and I love it, and I liked your show you did on Brexit. As you can see, I'm from Plymouth, UK. I voted Leave 2 years ago. I'm pro-Trump supporter. I love him, and he doesn't hide what he has to say, unlike our Prime Minister, who wants to say in the unelected, undemocratic gravity train, who wants to force us, gravy train, excuse me, I can read,
same thing,
wants to force us to stay in the EU, so they are bullying us. No one ever looks outside of London. From north of Birmingham, Cornwall, Devon, Wales have been hit hard with high immigration. It was so fast, no EU country populations would not integrate. Also, my wages were cut due to paying out low wage to Eastern Europeans by undercutting British people. Also, I have a family in the fishing industry for 40 years. The EU has decimated the English fishing industry, and the next 2 years the EU wants to get rid of sovereign states and have one complete united federal EU, where tax is done in Belgium, and our laws, the EU Army, the EU State Police, that will mean the end of British poppies or the police. This is what I and 17.4 million voted out of the EU for, because we can see what's going on. Unfortunately, the snowflake liberal can't see this, so they want to overturn the vote, and they do and say anything to get a second people's vote. This has been planned all along. The day we voted Leave, the political establishments and elites have got together to subvert the processes. Theresa May is fudged the Brexit video, so Parliament can vote it out and push the Brexit vote, so Parliament can vote it out and push for the general election and a people's vote. This has been the plan all along. Thank you, David. Thank you, David.
I really appreciate that message, because it gave somebody's view from the inside, how they're being affected, why they want Brexit, why they want to have control of the fishing rights. It's affecting their families.
Exactly. You have to forgive the fact that we use a posh accent for our British accent, because we're not good at any of the other ones. I'm sorry. Okay, so this message is from Arthur. He sent us a treat in the mail. He is Polish, but not from Poland. He is, I don't have the address here, but he's from here in the United States. All right, I think New Jersey. I'm going to get that wrong. Forgive me. I can't remember the return address.
He's got a ski on his last name.
He has a ski.
Whenever you see a ski, it's a Polski.
All right, dear Leah and Michelle, first things first, I would like to thank you for the videos that you make and upload. I enjoy watching them and eagerly look forward to the next one. Friday and Sunday cannot come soon enough. The little update videos are a nice surprise while I wait for the full ones. In all honesty, this was not always the case. At some point, your videos started showing up as suggestions for me to watch. The little thumbnails kept popping up and were usually one of the first things I saw when I went to YouTube. It got really annoying after a while, and I kept ignoring the thumbnails. I am in the process of reading the Bible to get myself in the habit of devoting time each day for reading, and I decided to start with Psalms. I read one every day in the morning, usually right after breakfast. After work, I read the Gospels. I try to read a chapter a night, but do not always succeed. A few months ago, I was having an off day and went to YouTube. Once again, one of the videos popped up. It was the one that Michelle did a Bible study on, one of the chapters in Luke. I decided to click on the thumbnail and was immediately greeted by a lady with a beautiful smile and an infectious enthusiasm. I followed along as Michelle read and explained things. Her way of breaking down and explaining what she read made it easy for me to follow and understand. I was disappointed when the video came to an end. Michelle said that she would do more Bible study videos, and I waited and waited and waited some more. Sorry about that. It was a long wait, but finally she posted another video and I was hooked. Now I watch both Michelle and Leah when you do a Friday and Sunday recap. Although on Sundays, it has been mainly Leah since Michelle was working on the deck. Due to my work schedule, I do not get to see most of the shows live. Sometimes I do listen to a portion during my commute, and sometimes I will watch some while on a break. Both of you do a great job with the videos, and I enjoy them very much. I click on the thumbs up button since, as you know, this is from Maia, the thumbs down is broken. I am amazed that you find the time to make these videos given how busy your schedules are. I would like to wish you the best of luck in 2019 with the channels, the forum, the farm, your pet sitting business, and hopefully your new studio. Please keep the videos coming. Your Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year specials were great. I hope that there will be more of the Bible study videos as well. Enclosed is a little something for you to enjoy. There are some in the chat that should recognize this, and hopefully they can back me up in stating how delicious the wafer cake is. I hope that you like it. Once again, thank you for doing what you do. It's so greatly appreciated. Good luck in 2019. Best regards, Arthur. P.S. I enjoy cameo appearances by Matt. So we have been so excited. We've been hanging on to these since he
I know he had to be Polish because since we had some Polish viewers,
Wedlowski,
and they sent some Polish candy. I really enjoyed it. I noticed we have a store called Jungle Gyms, and they sell things from all over the world.
Yeah,
and they have a Polish section, and I saw these there. And
see, that one looks different than this one. Are they the same? I guess they are.
They're exactly the same.
Okay.
They're exactly. How are you supposed to go about this?
I didn't put my knife on today.
I don't think you need a knife, but I'm just wondering, like, are you supposed to?
I think you're supposed to cut it into a wedge, though. See, there's a picture of a wedge on the front, right there.
Well, you know what? When we have a studio, we can have a plate
and do it proper.
It's hand.
Look at show them that once you get
decorated.
The thing. Oh my goodness, this looks so yummy.
This is like, gosh. I bet it says there's like 500 servings in here.
8.
8 servings. Jesus said.
It's a wafer with peanut filling in dark chocolate.
I'm gonna break. I don't know if it will break.
You just break it in half and I'll take half.
Whoa.
That's good. I'll take the big half.
Whoa. Okay. Oh.
I don't want to break it because you're going to make a mess. Can I just have my own little half?
I had to break it.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
Oh, wow.
That's really fun.
That's so yummy.
You know what? We have chocolate in the United States, but I have discovered that I really like Polish chocolate better.
I'm just going to eat this whole thing. I won't, but I want to.
Not the whole thing.
I won't, but I'm going to eat off of it.
Okay. Well, that's fun. I wish I could share it.
Thank you,
like
Arthur.
Jesus. Spreading it around.
I wish I could share it too, but I'm glad I don't have to.
So
I'm just being honest.
I bite. Okay, that's really good. That's really addicting.
This is literally my half. This is just gonna be mine. I'll piece away at it.
I don't know.
And holy moly, I don't want to put it down.
You might want to. I don't either. But thank you, Arthur. That was really fun.
Is it Arthur? It's A-R-T-U-R.
Arthur?
Arthur is a cool name too. I'm just not sure. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. Michelle, tell us more about your studio upgrade. All right, so the main thing that you're going to notice about the studio upgrade, we're going to get another television and we're going to drop it down so that we're not cut off like this. So it'll be more of a studio kind of setting. And the fact that it's actually going to be a studio and always set up is going to make it so that we can do more videos.
Hopefully.
We can just run down if something happens, do a 20-minute segment on it, and throw it out to you guys. That is the idea and plan. Because right now, as it is, we set up lights and we move this to the center of our living room and we get the computer all set up and whatnot. So that is we're probably going to have chairs. My back starts to hurt standing here. Not that I have a bad back, but for 2 hours, it just is a lot. Shifting weight on your feet if you're not moving around. So that's kind of it. But we're going to have, I think we might leave our table down there. We're going to, for our own sanity's sake,
like
there's a lot more going.
Because I do really good, like when I'm walking.
Yeah.
Like I have really, like my thoughts come together quicker and
We're
better
moving Kansas's wood shop to the other side of the basement, and we are going to be setting up our studio in his former wood shop. and he should get more. He will get more space. There's a lot that we're gonna do. It's a big project.
Yeah.
You won't be able to see really the big dealness of it.
The big dealness.
Yeah, I just made that word up.
But it's all as the Lord leads, so timing and things like that, we're gonna.
Right.
But
do we need any technical advice? I don't think that we do. I have our tech guy Jay, who helps me with our website and whatnot. If I have any questions, we had considered doing a green screen type background. It's fake to me. I don't like it. I like the fact that we have this TV and then I can play videos and, like that. I think that's more than enough. I like the way that we do it. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to do a green screen. I thought about it, but we did seriously consider it, but we've kind of, no, we don't have to put any walls. Everything that we have is good to go. It's just a matter of massive rearranging, like a lot of rearranging. And we have some things to build, like the new desk that we're going to have and sit at and sit behind. So pray for us.
No, it's
what
fine.
Song?
We'd be fine.
What song do you want to sing?
What song do you want to sing?
I don't know. You were talking about justice and stuff, and I was thinking about your song, that fun ain't fun if justice ain't done. But I don't know where that's at, and I don't know how you would find it.
Yeah, that's.
Or we can just sing some sort of hymn for today.
Let's just sing, because Jasper's here, and if I go get the guitar, then I have to step on her. So let's try something a cappella.
Okay, I like a cappella. What are you thinking?
I'm
gonna guess somebody in the chat has a suggestion, and I'm just missing it.
You were singing some sort of Twilight Paris song or something, Sandy Patty the other day. Yeah, something I haven't really sung in a while.
Oh, we could just look up just Twilight Paris.
No. It might not even be that. It might not even be Twilight Paris though, so I'm not sure which it was. But
I know we could just sing one though. Songs.
No, because not acapella. Not acapella.
Why
is probably
not?
not a good idea. How beautiful. That's what it is. Yeah.
Do you want to do that one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, see, sometimes I'm right.
Okay. Oh, Jasper's getting up.
What am I gonna do with her, guys?
Jasper's getting up.
Do you know how many times recently?
Now Jasper's up.
Do we put chords in the search box?
I guess so.
I have been right, and Leah is emphatic that I'm wrong. Emphatic may not be the best word.
Well, I was the one who said Twilight Paris, right?
I know, and then I said I could look it up. All right. We grew up old school Christian music, and Twilight Paris is no, it wasn't. All right, we're gonna turn this over here. There's Leah. Hiya. And Jasper, you're not going outside because you did 800 times.
Did you bring something up?
I did.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, what?
Well,
you can't see it.
I don't have any glasses, so no, I can't see it. I can go get glasses.
Or we can just Google it on yours. That's fine.
Yeah.
Eric Mathis and Terry Mathis have triplets that are toddlers. And they were singing some old school hymn camp songs and things like that. And she sent videos that were just so cute. And it just made me feel really good to hear that those songs aren't dying, that they're staying alive. They're still teaching those awesome songs to kids at church. All right, what do you got?
Can we sing it? Do we know how it goes?
That's a very good question.
Really low.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to sing it higher?
How I don't know. This person just made up the chords.
Yeah,
Did you
go
read
back.
that?
Go back. Yeah. I love this song, but like, isn't it higher?
It is higher the way she sings it, but we
Yeah.
were just singing it the way that person came up with the chords.
That's it. That's the
same
chorus.
one.
Are we not singing it high enough? Like, do we start low? Is it supposed to be high?
Not like the other way we were singing it.
That's low. Maybe we sing it in a different chord than the way Twyla sings it.
Well, I'm sure because she's Twyla and we are not.
Maybe this isn't a good song to sing.
I like the way we were singing it.
Okay. It's really low. That's all. It's hard to get low like that. To keep it sustained. The heart that bled and took all my sin and bore it instead. How beautiful the tender eyes that chose to forgive and never despise. How beautiful, how beautiful, how beautiful is the body of Christ.
I don't know the bridge.
And as that's not the right chord. Lay down his life.
I don't know the
We
bridge.
offer this sacrifice. I know this song.
We can sing it with her.
Yeah, but then I demonetize the song, and then they take the whole thing away. Sorry.
If you guys aren't listening to Twyla Paris, you should.
We
because
should
her music
totally
is
sing
so
songs that
anointed.
we know at the end.
You know what we should totally practice in all the spare time that we have?
I love my life.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
this song.
You know what I love? You know what song I love? We can sing. I know. I got it.
Well, I got this now.
No.
The dog's gone.
Hang on. Yes. Right? We can't mess this one up, right?
I don't know. We could try.
Can't mess it up.
We could try.
Okay.
You guys actually come and are like the Sunday morning practice.
I sat there and I watched people the other day. What is happening?
I'm looking for the capo.
Oh, people the other day do music and they messed up. I don't know who was it I was listening to the other day.
You were watching Mark Lowry.
No, it was Rich Mullins or some. No. I watched them mess up a bunch and it was fun and it was real and they don't care. They stick around with us anyway, don't you guys?
That's just finding
it. The King is exalted on high. I will praise him.
He is exalted.
That's not it. Play it and I will find it.
There she goes.
Well, what are you gonna do? Play the song. It's fine. We'll get it later.
Maybe I don't need the capo. Maybe it's just too high.
Just play the chords.
Take it off.
That can't be right. That's way too high.
It's Twyla's.
Yeah, because she's Twyla.
You just sing without the guitar.
The
King is exalted on high. I will praise him. He is exalted forever, exalted, and I will praise his name.
No, we can't. We're in the wrong chord. Nope.
That's how she sings it.
Well, we're not Twyla.
That's what you wanted to sing this song. We're just done for the show today.
Well, we are done for the show for the day because we have had a little bit of an accident.
Jasper needs to go out like for the 20th time.
Yeah, she needed to go out about 30 seconds ago.
Yep.
So there you go. And normally she wears a diaper, but I didn't take the time to put it on her.
Diaper during the show always.
Yeah, but when I take her in and out, I had stopped to put the diaper on and I didn't. Yes, it's my fault.
No, it's not your fault. It's just Oh, I love my life. We
God
love
loves
you.
you.
God loves you. Just remember that.
God loves you.
There's a song about God loving you.
And we love you.
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Yeah. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong.
Yes.
Yes, Jesus loves me.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, Jesus loves me.
And you.
Yes, Jesus loves me.
The Bible.
The Bible tells me so.
Thank you.
Good night, guys. We got to go.
Yeah, we'll be
that
back
was
here
like
on Friday.
Nature saying, time to sign off, baby.
Yeah.
It's time to say goodbye.
And you know what? We can take these songs and we can practice them this week and we can bring them back to the people.
I don't think it's going to happen, baby.
It could work.
Twyla sings like up here, and you don't like to sing up there.
I don't.
So you want to sing, but
we
you can't.
We could change it up.
Maybe.
Make it Leah Michelle.
You know, in all our spare time, I will try.
Okay.
I do like those songs. I do want to. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be a nice little fun thing challenge to do. We should try it.
Okay. All right, you guys. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory. It's all the craziness. This is our circus. These
are our monkeys.
Okay. Good night, guys.
I was caught